I was going through my back issue boxes looking for something fun to read, and I saw this old issue of What If, not too old though, from 2023, and my eye was just instantly drawn to that Walt Simonson artwork, and of course him doing the cover here. But this is a Loki What If story, written by Walt Simonson. The art's by Eaton. But man, this story is a whole lot of fun, and it's a take on issue 153. So I thought, wouldn't it be fun to read issue 153 in this book back to back? So I did. I went through and I grabbed my Masterwork edition that had that issue. That's this volume right here. I have the blue variant cover, but this is volume 7 of Thor. And it's actually the first issue that's in this volume, which is issue 153. So let's just dig in and have some fun with that story. But also, I love that piece of artwork. I have a big copy of that bit of artwork just in my library room there. It's so good. But let's skip over all that extra stuff there, like that intro. But issue 153, but Dr. Blake can die. This, of course, is still back in the day, so we got Stan Lee writing with Jack Kirby, and this kicks off. A big fight just happened with Ulick the Troll, and Carnilla, she's given some of her powers to Loki at this point in time. So with the Norn enchantment, he's actually able to get a hold of Mjolnir after Thor had set the hammer down to fight Ulick, and now he's actually transported back to Earth, and he's stolen his hammer. So Loki's just a tricky devil. Thor convinces Carnilla to send him and Sif back to Earth, and he's wanting to, if not retrieve his hammer, at least get vengeance on Loki. But we got Loki in disguise here getting stopped by this officer here who calls him, what does he call him, like a hypnotist? Yeah, he's just not having any of it with them. I remember that from the first read there, and funny enough, because it stuck out to me in my read through of these back to back. They stick so closely to the dialogue, because right here in this scene is where the other comic book, the What If version, differs and takes a shift in story. So. But right here, he calls him a hypnotist, and in the other version, they call him a magician, and I just thought that was kind of funny. It stuck out to me. But right here, we have Loki going in for the kill on Blake there, but he misses because Sif just like steps in and protects him. Like, good on her. Her love knows no bounds right here. She's just going straight after him, and we get this really cool full page scene here. I love it when we get full pages. Very cool. And we get a pretty good fight there, but he ends up getting the upper hand on her real quick, and he strikes her down with the sickness and gets all out of there. And Blake, he's trying real hard, and he's able to get the stick from Loki, and able to transform back into Thor, and they get into a cool brawl here. I love how Thor just straight up smashes this car. Real cool. Great dynamic, just real good power in every scene. Like this scene here where we see Blake just like flying back into the wall and tapping the cane, and then boom, right here we got Thor. You know, it's just cool. I dig it. So we get a great fight here, but Loki's the snake that he is, and he busts on out of there. We get stuff going on with Carnilla and Balder. You know how that goes. But Blake, he's just like thinking no good, because Sif is sick. Loki struck her down with something mighty fierce, but something way worse than a general stab wound. So he's got to use both his magical, mystical, Asgardian knowledge and his mortal prowess as a surgeon and doctor to save her life. So we have this great bit here where he's racing against time to save her in the operating room before Loki can get back there to finish the job. And of course, we get a little bit more stuff going on, catching us up with Ulick, which is left over from the previous story. It doesn't really impact this one, so I'm going to move on from that bit there. But we get Loki just being his scheming self. He's using an invisibility spell, which is why he's walking around with no one the wiser. But he uses a little bit of mind reading to figure out where Sif and Thor went with the cop there, knowing where they were transported, and that's when he shows up. But Blake keeps a cool head while surgery's going, and he tells one of the orderlies to just blast Loki with the tank there, and I just thought that was so funny. And that just gives him just the amount of time he needs to finish the operation, and then he's able to like get to business, which is with his fist. So we get a real fun fight here, which gets interrupted by Odin, who's looking mighty impressive here. I mean, come on, that full page spread just close up on his head with that like crazy regal headdress. It's so wild too, especially if you look at like the color of his outfit, just like the green and yellows there, and then you got the bright red and yellows and oranges broken up by that big white Odin beard too. But yeah, so their fight ends up breaking up because, you know, so speak Odin. They're not gonna test him any, I tell you. But it's a fun issue. I had a lot of enjoyment out of that. You know, I really like the old Thor. Old Thor is pretty great, but I will say it gets a little rocky, peaks and valleys. But definitely all the Kirby Thor era is just wild for just like all the art and fun ideas and stories going on. I love that stuff so much. It's some of the later stuff that is a little bit but I mean, the Simonson is where it gets crazy good, if you ask me. That's up there as some of my absolute favorite comic books of all time. Like I'm really enjoying Tomb of Dracula as I read that, and that's quickly becoming one of the best titles I've read. But I tell you what, just as far as straight up comic books go, some of the best I've read were DC Starman and Marvel's got Thor. And when I say that Thor, I mean the Walt Simonson Thor run. So that's kind of where I go as far as like the best comics I've read, and just like being a good complete story. Simonson Thor and the Robinson Starman. But also I really love Berserk, if we can count manga as comics. And I mean, it's just Japanese comic books, so why is manga a different thing? Although, you know, different genres and such too. But comic books isn't just superheroes. There's just a lot of superhero comic books. But yeah, this book picks up right where the last one left, and we see the catch up with the Ulick fight. We see Loki getting the hammer, and we get this scene here with them back on the street and being confronted by the cop. But this is where it takes a turn, because Blake gets stabbed right through the heart, and Sif doesn't really fare much better. And like, that's the intro to the book, and the rest of this is just a wild alternate Ragnarok, I tell you what. So a Mjolnir wielding Norn enchanted Loki is pretty all powerful, and he just swoops on in and completely takes out Carnella and her domicile there. She just out, which is no good. and he quickly, after just like I do love that we get this great design for Loki here, which I love, and I really like his area here too, just the beautiful scenery. But I love how we get a whole page dedicated to him just scheming. And here, as he's meditating and seeing what's to come, we get these really cool pages just showing us things happening. And he's like, all right, I got an idea of how things are supposed to go down or could. So, of course, he's getting some of that mistletoe there to go a little bit stabby, because Balder could really put a thorn in his side, you know what I'm saying? So let's just take care of that a little bit early, which is no good. I just love this panel of him just kind of being so happy about finally getting his way and things coming to head, like it's all coming together, and things are looking up for Loki. So he's gathering his allies for a big offensive. So who better than to have his tots with him, right? This Fenris wolf looks so cool. I love it. Great artwork. So good. And I love the bit here where it says that for a moment, father and son snarl at each other, and their snarls are identical. I tell you what, can we get him back on Thor? It's just really fun just reading a little bit of him back up with the characters. I feel he has, he has the voice for all the characters as far as I'm concerned. Just so cool. And I tell you, this is the real fun tragedy too, and I loved how Loki rubbed it in Thor's face, or I should say Blake's, right as he killed him there at the beginning of the comic. He's like, you don't die in battle, so you're going straight to hell. And so all the rest of the book that we see, we only see Thor when he's in hell. But we got Loki gathering everybody, He's talking to his daughter. He's talking to the frost giants. He's talking to the world serpent. I mean, come on. And Surtur, I tell you, he's going to regret that. But, that's just going a step too far, if you ask me. And, man, he looks scary. So, this page is so cool and I love it. It's such a great splash page, but I feel like its impact is ruined by this big ad, which itself is just a cover, and it's just very distracting from this really cool page. I wish we had something else there that wasn't as brightly colored and a charging superhero team. I think you know what I'm saying, even if I'm not articulating it properly. But man, this is a cool page. I can dig it. Now, I wish Simonson actually did the artwork for this book too? Yeah, that would be sick. But I really do like the art that we got. It looks awesome. The Frost Giants look so good. And man, Surtur is very scary and cool. But we're seeing Asgard just get wiped out here, and even Odin bites the bullet on the next page. We see the wolf just busting on in, and right here he gets a good chomping. I tell you what, the theme of these was dark. This is what if dark, so everything had to go wrong, but isn't that most of the what if books anyway? I feel like predominantly they all end bad or worse than the general reality. Not all of them, but most of them that I've read. Although I do have a tendency to go out of my way to grab the funny ones, because I do love a good joke book. But yeah, this bit is great here after Odin gets shot. Loki is talking about how he's the ruler now, and this is all his, and everyone's gonna bend their knee. And then we just hear this laughing. Not like my laugh, it's deeper and more sinister. But we flip the page and ignore this right here. Ignore all this. We're looking at this. Yeah. Surtur thinks it's pretty funny that Loki thinks he's in charge of anything, and the reign of Loki just ended. And he's gonna see that everything burns, because when he's done, not even he'll be left alive. So he lights his sword with their flame, and everything is gonna go to hell. And Loki realized he done fucked up. So he tries wielding all of the power of Mjolnir, and it ends up. This is where I feel like they could have maybe stretched out or done something a little bit different, but right here is just like Mjolnir fries him. There's too much energy, and Loki can't properly do it. You know, if it was Thor, probably could have, but not Loki. So he ends up getting fried, and Surtur's left to destroy everything, which I love. I am really bummed out though. So much fun with this book. I love this book, but I'm so bummed out that this is all we get dedicated to a Surtur fight with the World Serpent. You know, like 2 panels, not even a full page. Honestly, I would have rather one giant splash page of just them clashing than getting the multiple stuff, you know? It's just, oh man, like issue 380 is the most classic issue to me, just for that fight being so epic with it's just like, I can't even speak. I'm speechless thinking about that issue. I love it so much. It's literally one of my favorites. It's like I can't say anything more good about it. I need to do one of these videos just on that issue. We spend like 2 minutes on each page. But we see Surtur bringing an end to every realm right here. We get a quarter of a page per realm, essentially, and we see everything burn. And in the end, there's just nothing left but a void. And I guess I got a couple complaints because I brought up things already, but we already heard Loki described as burning to cinders and ash, and we saw him kind of crumble in that one scene when he got overcharged. But here we see his corpse still holding the hammer in the void. I think it would have been probably more appropriate to just show the hammer floating in the void, because all the same, that's what matters for this, the end of this story here, which is we flip it and see that so yes, everything may have ended and died at the end of Ragnarok, but with the spark of the light inside Mjolnir, there is a flash of light, and the universe becomes reborn. Hey, you know, it's the end of one age, it's the beginning of a new. Maybe them old gods died, but the new ones are coming. It just would have been funny if we saw a little bit of some sort of allusion to the to the new gods or something in here, you know, just with thing, you know, and it's a what if, so whatever. It don't have to go anywhere. But pretty cool too. At the end of the book, we also get this fantastic interview between Daniel Warren Johnson and Walt Simonson, where they're just talking about his career and working on Thor, which is absolutely fun. And then an advertisement for the next What If issue of 2023. What if Dark Spider-Gwen? Oh, I don't care about that, but I cared about this one, and I picked it up at the time when it came out, and I had a whole lot of fun rereading it here today and giving me an excuse to go through and pick up my old Masterwork too and reread those. I love them Masterworks. They're the best, I tell you. Perfect comfort for holding a book, I tell you what. Just like not too big. Some of these new omnibuses, I really like them because of the value, but they're so big and cumbersome, and they're not enjoyable to actually sit and read, But anyhow, had fun. We'll be coming back at you more with other comic books a little bit later. Thanks for joining me. Catch you soon.